Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. Today is just another opinion piece because some exciting news has come out in the world of retro gaming, classic gaming, however you like to phrase it. And it's all about Atari. And there's a few bits of information that have been leaked, and I'm seeing like Facebook posts about it. Some are on more official channels than others, and so, you know, I usually like to wait and see what's happening, and because you never know. Sometimes they just put out rumors, or someone's just messing with us, or something gets started but never finishes. So you always kind of be skeptical when they start teasing this type of stuff. Now, the two big things right now that I'm starting to really follow and read, one is the Atari box. Not really too interested in what this thing is all about, because it seems like it's a modern system. It's all about the Atari coming back into the console market or something like that. I don't know. From what I read, there's not a whole lot of information available, so I don't really want to get too much into it. And from what it sounds like, it doesn't sound like it's going to be something that I'm going to care about. So I don't know. We'll see. You know, when there's more information available, if this thing even actually happens or whatever. But the one thing I wanted to talk about today is the Retron 77, I believe is what it's called. I've seen that a few times now, and again, I was waiting to see if this was a real thing. But I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers now that are already talking about it. It's on like the Atari Age Facebook page and all that stuff. So it seems like, and I guess it was officially released or shown at E3. So you know, it sounds like this thing is happening. So what it is really is just a clone type console, I guess, that's going to play these guys. These guys, the original Atari 2600 cartridges. Now, I mean, there's a lot of ways to look at this. At Games has been putting out these flashback systems, which is awesome. Because, you know, the flashback portable, which is like my favorite of all of them so far, is something I always wanted. You know, some way to play Atari on the road, some way to make it portable. But they have all these other systems where they look like kind of like a mini Atari. There's no cartridges. You just plug it into your TV, and then you could play any of the games that are on that system. So they'd have like 50, 80, whatever games. And that's it. So it's really just an emulation-based system. The Atari Flashback 2, the second one that came out, people were able to mod it, put a cartridge slot, like the original Atari, into the, you know, plastic, cut it open, and, you know, wire it all up, and it would work like an Atari. I've heard, though, it didn't play every single Atari game or something. There were some games that it didn't work with, but, I mean, you know, but that requires modding. That requires actually, like, cutting the plastic and knowing how to wire in the stuff. And frankly, not everybody's going to know how to do that. I certainly wouldn't try that myself. And then there's the other thing, is like people like me who have the originals. I have an Atari. I have a few Ataris. You know, and so this machine that's coming out, it seems like it's going to be great for maybe like who? Someone like me, okay. I could buy it and say, I'm going to use this now. I could plug this right into my new fancy TV. I don't have to use the CRT anymore. And, well, I can do it with the old one as well. It just takes a little bit of rigging and hooking up and stuff. But, I mean, this one probably, I think it might be HDMI. I'm not sure. So it probably just plugs right into your TV, and you can just start playing your cartridges on it now. And take away the wear and tear of using your older systems. So I get that. Okay, now I can, you know, preserve these guys. I have a whole, like, I don't have a whole lot of them, but I do have a bunch of different systems that will play the Atari 2600 games. So, is this a product for me? The coolness factor is, I mean, I like the idea that this thing's coming out. But for people that are not hardcore collectors, or people who don't have the original systems and all that stuff, if they buy this, now they're tasked with, where am I going to get games? Because typically when a system is released, like when this came out, this is the Atari 2600 Junior. This came out, you know, a little bit later on, after the original Ataris were all released and stuff. This kind of came back as an affordable $40 system that people could buy. And at the time, they released all the games as well. So they had a whole slew of games you could buy. But what's going to happen with this? I mean, this is where we run into like the whole thing with emulator, or not emulator, but these Retron systems. Like the original Retron system, I believe, was mostly just for the Nintendo, and then it played Sega games and all that stuff, which is not too far in the distant past for a lot of people to still have their Nintendo stuff. But now we're getting into Atari. Now we're going further back, and they are a little bit harder to get your hands on compared to Nintendo. I mean, you can go into a lot of gaming stores and possibly still find Nintendo cartridges readily available. Not brand new, but I mean, unless they're selling them brand new. But, you know, you could pick up the cartridges in a lot of different places in flea markets. It's a lot easier than finding the old Atari carts. So it's kind of leaving you to eBay, you know, or trading. And then you have to get into the groups of people who collect these things. And that's, you know, where the challenge is going to be. So even though this system is, you know, it's new, it's modern, it's like newer, I guess, technology, it's going to be able to plug into your TV, you're still going to have to find the games. And, you know, one thing I do have to say, though, is that there is still people out there making new games for these systems. So, you know, they call them homebrews. And, like, for instance, Donkey Kong here, there's a better version. Like, this is the original one, right? There's a better version of this that a homebrewer made, packaged up, and sells it like a real cartridge with all that stuff. So, granted, you can buy those. But, other than that, I mean, when someone who doesn't really have a collection of Atari, I don't know what they're going to do with this system. Does this mean that they're going to have to start hunting games? Because not everybody wants to do that either. Are they going to have to go on eBay and order a lot? Like, because lots of people do that. They sell like a lot of Atari games. Like, they'll say, you know, 50 Atari games for some price, and you can buy it. You know, buy all these games, and there you go. But now you're relying on eBay. And I've heard no indication that any games will be released again. So it's just kind of strange to me that, you know, as cool as it is, it's just strange that they're releasing a system that will play the old games. And then we don't have the old games unless you fish them out of the closet. So, but I guess, you know, like I said, that's running into like the issue with all the Retron style systems. First is the ones from the AT games where they come preloaded with the games on it. It's emulated. They're not the actual games. They're just emulation of the game. And that's for, you know, that's for the people who don't really collect and just want to relive their youth and say, I played Atari when I was a kid. I want this thing. I could plug it into my TV and just, you know. But if you want that real feel of the cartridge, of the physical cartridge, and, you know, knowing that you can just, you know, insert it, which, fun little fact, looks like from the pictures, they've changed the way the cartridge goes in, so now that the sticker is actually facing you instead of backwards. So that's just interesting, unless the prototype changes or something, but yeah. But yeah, if you want that feel of, you know, putting the cartridge back in, this seems like it's going to be a great system. And the real issue is, do I need another console that will play Atari? I'm still on the fence on it. I'm probably going to want to have it just for the cool factor, but I don't know if it's going to be of use to me and if I'll actually end up using it. So I'd like to hear what you have to say about it, because it's kind of interesting, you know. And what's next down the pipe? Are they going to do it within television, ColecoVision? That would be awesome. ColecoVision, Atari 5200, you know, reinvent those crummy controllers. Like, I could see there could be an angle to this that, you know, can they possibly make one system that will have, that you could play Atari and television and Coleco in it, just like the Retron 3 and 5 and all those that can play Atari and, or sorry, Nintendo and Sega and, you know, Game Boy. That would be cool. Now that I will sign up for. Anyways, I'd like to know what you have to say about the topic. Hope you liked the video. It's really just my thought on this system. And I guess we just got to wait to see what happens when all this stuff comes out. Anyways, talk to you later.